Hey, friends, welcome to the show. So, today let's talk about the difference between having a podcast that looks good on paper and one that actually fuels your business. Because I'll be honest, most podcasts don't necessarily have a creativity problem. And truly, I mean this because I've been working with so many podcasters over the years. And what I'm really seeing, especially this last year, is that you as a podcaster have one or multiple of the following. You either have a strategy problem, you have a visibility problem, and or you have a mindset problem. And most importantly, you're struggling to figure out how to connect your show to growing your business and growing your revenue. And that is a problem. That is what breaks my heart. And that is also what fuels me to show up every single day to make sure that these are no longer problems for you. And so I have a very exciting announcement as we kick off this episode. I am actually going to help you fix all of this inside of my upcoming podcast glow up party, which is a 4-day party happening January 20th through the 23rd. So it's right around the corner. And this 4-day experience is designed to help you audit, align, and amplify your podcast so that it becomes the marketing engine that drives your business. Now, if you have been with me at all, you know this is what I'm passionate about, making your podcast the cornerstone of your marketing, making it fuel your email list, making it fuel your revenue, all of the things, right? And so that is what we're doing in this 4-day experience. We're going to get you set up so your podcast is ready to do just that. So it's very exciting. I hope you'll come and join me. Just right off the bat, you can grab your seat starting today at podcastmarketinghub.com/glow. So you have a couple options. You can join at $27. You get general admission and you get all the goodies, or you can upgrade to $97, which is your VIP ticket. And that includes all of the replays. It includes hot seats where I'll be coaching you directly. And it includes what I'm really excited about, and we're going to get into why, but a collaboration grid so that you have a very clear and special place where you can connect with other female powerhouse podcasters to just meet people, to do collaborations, to do podcast swaps, to do podcast interviews, whatever it might be. I'm going to make it so easy for you with this super special collaboration grid, and you get all that in the VIP. So again, you can choose whichever one is right for you, but I hope you'll come join me. So in this episode, specifically today, I want to scratch the surface of what we are going to dive really deep inside in the party, the 4-day party, right? Because this 4-day event, it is going to change how you think about your podcast forever. It is going to completely revamp how you think about your podcast, how you approach your podcast, how you use it within your business, and it's going to help to accelerate your growth. Right? It's going to help to accelerate your podcast and audience growth. It's going to help to accelerate your email list growth, your client load, your revenue, all of the things. And that's what I want for you. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, so first up, before we can even grow your show, we have to make sure that it's set up to actually be found. Now, most podcasters pick names and episode titles that sound cute or might be in alignment with something within their business that maybe your existing clients know about, but nobody else does. And they're great, maybe, but they don't actually work for discoverability. And that's a big problem because moving into 2026, searchability matters more than ever. It matters more than ever with AI, with these platforms that we're using, the listening platforms, all of it. You need titles that align with how your audience searches. Again, let me repeat that because it's really important. You need episode titles that align with how your audience is searching, and cover art that stops the scroll in honestly a sea of a lot of sameness, a lot of kind of mediocre. You need to stand out. And so there are actually studies that shows that with clear, high contrast imagery, legible fonts, and face forward photos outperform those that don't. And when your titles include intentional words, your show is not only easier to find, it's easier to remember and it's going to start showing up organically without you having to lift too much. So here's the good news. We are going to go through all of this in detail in day one of the glow up party. And by the end of day one, I want you to leave knowing exactly what tweaks you need to make sure your podcast pops on every platform from cover art to title to show name. All right. So we're going to work on all of that on day one. I have worked with plenty of podcasters. I know the tricks of the trade. I know what's working. I know what's not. And I'm going to spill all the secrets on day one. So then after that, let's talk a little bit more about podcast production flow and community. So unfortunately, for a lot of podcasters, production feels like a hamster wheel, right? There's like red flags everywhere. And what I find is that without a streamlined flow, podcasting becomes overwhelming very, very quickly. And that's when most people throw in the towel, they quit. And I don't blame them because it's exhausting to try to keep up when you have other things to juggle, from running other pieces of your business to being a parent to maybe, your spiritual or mindset practice to being a partner to enjoying your hobbies. Like there's so much that we carry that when you add just the process of your podcast on top of it, it becomes very difficult. So inside the glow up, we are going to also spend time talking about how to simplify your production process so you can stay consistent without burning out. And that is what I want for you. And even here's what I want to say, even if you can't outsource everything yet, you can do simple tweaks to create systems that make your podcast feel light and flowy and fun, not heavy, because that is really what can happen very quickly. All right, we're also going to talk about something that I'm so passionate about, and that is having a community. Because let's be honest, podcasting can feel isolating, especially as a female entrepreneur, right? And so when we surround ourselves with other podcasters who are doing the same thing, sharing ideas, guesting on each other's shows, swapping content, swapping ads to support and to promote one another, everything changes. Not only do you feel less alone, and not only does it feel more fun and flowy, your audience truly begins to grow. Magic starts to happen when you start to collaborate. And so I want you to, whatever you do in 2025, figure out how to find a community of like-minded podcasters who you can lean on, you can collaborate with, you can do swaps with, you can say, hey, I'm looking for 3 guests. Who do you got? How can you help me? How can I help you? Those types of things. That's where it really gets juicy and fun and starts to feel easy, to be honest. And a big reason I'm doing the podcast glow up party is because I want you to find this. I want you to come into the party and I want you to leave with real relationships and collaborations that are forming. You're meeting outside of the podcast party. You're creating real friendships and real communities that can collaborate. And that's what I want for you. It makes everything about podcasting, everything about entrepreneurship, honestly, easier. So that's a big goal for me when you come into the podcast party, that you are going to find those people. You're going to find your people. Okay, so here's something most podcasters don't realize. You are actually not competing with millions of creators like you would be if you were on YouTube or Instagram or if you had a blog. The podcast space is very special in that way because there's still a lot of room for organic growth if you know how to use it correctly. If you know how to get your podcast ranking and showing up organically, it is way easier on these listing platforms because of the sheer number of people you're competing with. And so I'm going to dive into all of this in the glow up, but we're going to dive into why this matters, what the actual competition looks like across platforms. Like I'm going to show you numbers, and then we're actually going to dive into, get ready for it, what you should be measuring to actually measure success with your metrics, to actually figure out what's moving the needle, not just look at downloads and think, oh, my show isn't growing as quickly as I want. Because it's not. Spoiler, it's not downloads. Downloads are never going to give you the insight that you actually need to be a smart podcaster and a smart entrepreneur and to actually track the metrics that help you to grow. So we got to look at engagement, email list growth, conversions, visibility with the right audience. Like These are the juicy metrics we need to be paying attention to. Okay. So, in day 3 of the podcast glow up party, I'm going to show you exactly what to track, what to ignore, how to use your data to make smarter moves and marketing decisions within your business. Because here's the deal, we don't have a lot of time as entrepreneurs. Again, like I can go through the list, but we're carrying so much more than just being a podcaster and being an entrepreneur. We're carrying a lot as human beings. And so let's simplify it and let's focus on what really matters so that we can be smart and strategic with our time and our efforts and our energy. That's what I'm passionate about for you and for me too. Okay, lastly, we are going to really bring it all together in day 4 together because what I am so passionate about as we move into 2026 is that your mindset determines how long you're going to stay in the game. Truly. If you are consistently chasing downloads, comparing your show to someone else's, numbers, downloads, ranking, whatever, you're missing the real impact you're making. And it breaks my heart. Imagine if 1,000 people tuned into your show this month, maybe 2,000, maybe 5,000, maybe 10,000. Imagine if those people were standing in your living room, thanking you for your message, thanking you for your teachings, thanking you for XYZ. You wouldn't even have room for them. You would be overwhelmed. That's huge. So I want you to start focusing on the impact that you're making with your podcast. And I want you to really put that above anything else that you are tracking. How are you making an impact with your podcast? I really want that to sink in. So we'll end the party with mindset work, live hot seats, and breath work to ground you in gratitude, vision, and momentum, because that's what I want you to have moving forward. You'll leave knowing exactly where your podcast fits within your business strategy and how to move forward with confidence and clarity and how to make it move the needle in your business once and for all. And that's my goal for you for 2026. I cannot wait to share all of this with you. So, if your goal for 2026 is to finally see results from your podcast, not just downloads, but true visibility, engagement, and revenue, email list growth, all of the things, then this is your sign, friend. The podcast glow up party runs January 20th through the 23rd. So go ahead, grab your seat at podcastmarketinghub.com/glow. Tickets start at $27. You can also upgrade to $97 to get access to replays, bonus hot seats, podcast collaborations, all of the good things. So let's do it. Let's make 2026 the year that your podcast really becomes the cornerstone of your marketing. I can't wait. I hope this is everything you need to really kick off in the new year, and I am totally here for it. I'll see you there. Of course, you can DM me on Instagram, Kylie J. Chandler. So grateful you're here. Can't wait to do this podcast glow up party with you. It's literally something I have been pouring my heart into for so long, and I can't wait to reveal it. So I'll see you there. Again, podcastmarketinghub.com/glow.